Forts to me is always like something when I think of like nostalgia that just warms my heart. It's those sleepovers.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's like everybody who's done a sleepover with a best friend, or even anybody, friend, you know, because sometimes you get pushed into having a sleepover with like your best friend's friend.
Yeah, people
like,
you don't really care for or don't
yeah,
really
and,
like
and
that
you're
much.
all laying down in the room, and you turn the lights off. It's time to go to sleep, and you sit there and talk in the dark for like 2-3 hours. I love that. That was the best, dude.
It was cool, man. Yeah.
Natural conversation.
Yeah, and my thing was always, you know, once the parents do say the lights off, oh, it's time to go to bed. You're having the sleepover, but then you flick on your flashlight and you start reading some comics, dude.
Yeah.
That was when comics as a kid was big, dude. You can just sit there and read comics in your little tent with your flashlight, and it was just sick, man.
Classic.
Those were the days.
Were you a savage with comics as a kid? Like I'm talking like handheld, like holding the comic, flipping the pages.
I used to love having comics, like the physicality of it,
Yeah.
but my brother had them all. My brother was the one who would just go and collect them. So I was fortunate enough to have a bunch, but only because he got them. Because he's a little older than me.
So would he let you read his comics?
He would, only certain ones though. Like he had the Death of Superman, but he had it in a plastic.
Yeah.
He would never let me touch it.
Yeah.
Because that was like the Superman comic. It was like the legit, like the Death of Superman. So he kept that one on the wall.
Yeah, you just throw that one away, act like it didn't exist. No, I'm just kidding.
That one was sick.
No,
dude.
it's great. I'm just saying Superman, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see Superman die.
He loved that one, but yeah. So he would have a bunch of comics, and I would and that's how I was introduced to a lot of stuff, is through my brother, because he was a little older. So anything that he was kind of into, I was like, oh well, what's he playing? What's he reading over there? And so I would jump on it, and that was kind of the staple point for everything that I ended up loving throughout my years of the 90s. Is I was just introduced to from like my cousins or my friends. Everybody's usually a little bit older than I am.
Okay.
So I just ride the coattails,
Yeah,
but
there you go.
it's cool, man. I was fortunate to be introduced to a lot of really awesome things in the 90s. So that's but for me, comic books, that's where I fell in love with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Dude.
That was one of the first comics I ever remember reading, was a Spider-Man comic.
90s artwork on comics.
Oh.
It will always be my favorite.
Yeah.
Always be. Then Jim
Hands
Lee.
down.
Like I got right behind me, Jim Lee X-Men. Dude, my favorite.
That was one of my favorite cartoons to watch every like Saturday morning.
Saturday mornings, dude. Run. Okay, roll the dice, dude. You only have one. Spider-Man or X-Men?
Oh, X-Men. Yeah, X-Men.
Okay, I know everybody loves the X-Men. The intro.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
but tell me why you would choose the X-Men over Spider-Man.
There was more of them. There was like this team, and everyone had a different power, and you have a lot of that in Spider-Man, but it's like Spider-Man, and then all his villains.
He got his out. There's a lot of allies in the show, though. There's a lot.
Yeah.
It shows you a lot from the comics.
Oh, that show is like
The best.
yeah. And the one thing that I loved the most is when they blended the two cartoons.
Oh, Secret Wars.
The Secret Wars.
Dude,
And that was
Madam Web.
something that I always wanted to see, like a live action one day. But
When Storm speaks to Spider-Man, I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is happening? This is amazing, dude. This is amazing.
my favorite part was when Iron Man's suit basically went to shit and he couldn't do anything, and he was just laying there
Iron Man,
just dying, and I was like, this is your hero?
Jeez, dude. No, it's not. Yeah, dude. The animation and there was like this huge boom too in the 90s of 80s cartoons that just boomed with get a cartoon line, get a toy line.
Oh yeah.
Boom, dude.
Yeah.
Like huge.
I had a lot of Spider-Man toys, dude. Otto Octavius. I had like this little plastic green one, and it was sick, dude. The toys, and that's the other thing, is all the cartoons and the movies and everything led to these sick toy lines.
Yeah. The action figures in the 90s, action figures was my life. Like that's what it was. It was video games and action figures. Obviously, at that point, we didn't have. Obviously, I had a small collection of like Disney big box VHSs. Like you remember the classic Disney
My mom
ones?
would collect them, dude.
Yeah, I loved it. I had like Iron Will, Angels in the Outfield type stuff.
Yeah.
Great movies that I grew up with, and it was always a small collection of VHSs, right? I never had like this huge collection like we have DVDs and Blu-rays now, but it was toys. It was toys and Nintendo, games basically, right? And that was huge to me.
I think I had more toys because the game systems were a little more expensive, and my parents were like, we're gonna hold off on the game systems.